Welcome to the latest edition of Music That Left Its Mark. This time I'm joined by a young lady who lives in Vancouver, Canada. She lives there with her husband and a relatively new 8-month-old daughter. Moved to Vancouver 11 years ago from Windsor in Ontario with one suitcase and a big dream to pursue music. Over the last few years, built a really good presence on TikTok, sharing her love of rock and roll throughout the internet. And during this time, she's created a relatively small community. I think we could say we're creeping towards 80,000 followers now. But that's where you feel your most authentic self. And you like to hear other people's stories along the way as well. So, what can I say? I'm joined by TikTok and our very own groover from Vancouver. It's Ashley. Ash, good evening, Ash. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I say good evening. Obviously, it's the middle of the afternoon for you, isn't it?
That's okay. It feels like evening to me all the time, just perpetually tired with a baby at home.
So, Vancouver to pursue music. What was that about?
So, about probably way back in 2015, um, I decided to go on a very impromptu trip to Vancouver to see a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a very, very long time. And I was here for about 2 weeks and just felt this calling to come back and to actually stay. Because the more, as the days went on during the vacation, I felt like the music scene was good. I saw, I mean, at the time, a friend of mine's brother performing at a local bar, and he was just extremely talented and knew all of these other musicians, just making it big. And also was where Heart became big. That was a very huge draw for me. Upon coming back home to Windsor, Ontario, I just told my family I'm leaving in a month and I'm going to move to Vancouver and pursue music. And so I did. I just took a suitcase and I left. I was 20 years old and I just started like scouting. I was on Craigslist looking for gigs and bands, like just anybody who wanted to write originals, and it was quite the experience. It happened so quickly, but that my biggest dream was to have the name in the lights kind of scenario and get up there with Heart, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that pan out, or where are we at with that dream?
Oh, well, I haven't performed in years. The last time that I did, I was the front woman of a band called Electric Halo, and I was with them for a while. And maybe 3 years ago, we had parted ways. My husband, now husband, um, and I had moved to Saskatchewan just to feel things out, to try something new. My parents actually live out there, and felt like it was time to just try something new and just feel it out, see if we liked it. And um, meanwhile, other band members were moving away as well. It was inevitably going to separate, and it really sucked, but that was pretty much it for us. And since then, I haven't performed. I've been itching to. But now, being a mom and taking on that role, that huge responsibility that comes with having a baby, that's become priority. So, um, linking up with a band at the moment isn't necessarily in the cards right now, but I certainly would love to get back up there again and take it a little more seriously.
Okay, so let's say we've pressed pause for now. I
Yeah.
think that's the fair way of assessing that, isn't it? Um, and you mentioned that some of your music is available on Spotify.
Yeah, I believe one or two of our singles is actually on there. And I believe we are on YouTube still as well. Yeah,
And that's Electric Halo, yeah?
that's right. Yeah.
Cool, because I will certainly go and check that out, and hopefully anybody
Yeah, by all
listening
means. I'd love to hear your feedback.
will check that out too. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Um, okay, so you obviously, as with all guests, you provide me with a list. Your list
Hmm.
was a bit unusual. Um, because it was made up of two things.
Yeah.
Obviously, not quite as simple as that sounds. The first, obviously, your first choice. Obviously, by Heart, you've alluded to Heart. And
Mm,
obviously, we had a little bit of a chat before we started recording. We know that Heart is your favourite band.
yes.
And any self-respecting rocker of a certain age, anyway, will certainly have love for Heart.
Mm.
But you've gone with Dreamboat Annie, the full album. Yeah. Now, normally guests don't do that, but you've just chucked the full album in there. So talk to me about that. Why Dreamboat Annie? Why that album?
When before I moved to Vancouver, before I had like set that in motion, I had just gotten a record player maybe months before, and I was playing Heart records all the time in my room, all the time, and just listening, listening, listening. There was some sort of connection I felt with Dreamboat Annie, especially with me packing my bags and leaving my hometown, like everything that I've ever known. Um, the just I guess everything that I was leaving behind. It was quite an emotional move. It certainly wasn't easy. There were some tough bits with that. Obviously leaving my parents and the hometown, our farm that I grew up on, a relationship. There were a lot of difficult things I was going through at the time, but I was also at an age where I wanted to find myself and I wanted my voice to be heard. I wanted to be taken seriously and seriously pursue this career. And so um, it even just starts with that first line, like heading out this morning into the sun. And that alone just sent shivers down my spine because it just felt like, okay, I feel like this is speaking to me. This is the yes, you need to go and you need to do this. Even though, it's going to be tough, you need to do this because you need to honor yourself and your dreams and your passions. So that was just like the soundtrack of my life at that time. And listening on the plane, I was listening to it, like taking the bus to wherever I needed to go. That entire album just spoke to me because it was about just heading out to somewhere else, starting someplace new. Never been there before, but we're going to do it anyway. Maybe we'll find love in some places. It was just that for me, and that whole album just touched me in ways. I listen to it now and all I think about is that decision I made to come out here, and I just relive all of it all over again.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the whole concept of the podcast started because of this idea. What music left its mark on you and why, and what resonated with you. You've just given me a perfect eloquent description of how music just sits with you and just I was listening to you there, but it reminded me of when I first left to move away to work away for a while when I think I was about 17 or 18.
Hmm.
My favorite album has always been Hysteria by Def Leppard.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to live and work in Glasgow for a while, and had to take the bus at first. And I remember kind of as we pulled into the city and it was night, and I was listening to Rocket,
Hmm.
and of course, bright lights, big city, mad music
Yep.
all around.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's written for what's happening to you, and it just speaks to
Yeah.
something inside it.
Absolutely.
Incredible. So I totally resonate with that. What I always find fascinating. Dreamboat Annie was Heart's debut album. 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
weren't
I
born in
believe. Yeah.
76. I'm taking a punt here. You
February
weren't born in
14th. No,
you weren't born in 76.
I wasn't even a thought.
It's how do you end up? I obviously we chatted, off screen earlier. How do you end up back there in 76 with that album?
You know what? I to be honest with you, I can't even remember how I even got my hands on that album, but I had their record. I'm pretty sure my dad bought it for me. And my dad is the one who introduced me to classic rock. So I have divorced parents, and they had divorced when I was quite young. So about 6 or 7 years old. And our schedule was every other weekend, my dad would come and pick me up. And so when he would, the tunes would be blaring through his truck. Like you could hear him down the street. The bass was just so loud. And he introduced me to all of the things Rush, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, Led Zeppelin, just everything. Frank Zappa, everybody and everything. Papa Natar. I mean, I can't remember if Heart was in there at all, but when I got the turntable, now fast forward, um, he was just getting records out there for me. He was just buying me records. Here, get this, spin this, spin this, spin this. That record, it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. And I knew of Van Wilson. Like I was fond of Heart to begin with, but I think once I was maybe 18 or 19 years old, that's when I became like a super fan. Like I was constantly listening to Heart and just every single album, every day, all the time. But that album, that very first album, there's something so significant about it. I think a lot of the times there are people who say, "Oh, I love this album so much. This is my favorite album." It's way later in the 80s, but it's like, "Wait. It's great, but go back further. Go back further. Listen to Def Leppard's first album. Like listen to the first albums. I'm telling you, they are magical. They are just that was their sound. That was I find that that was like their peak sound because that's when
Yeah,
they were being authentically them, and I think that really resonates with myself because authenticity is number one in my books. So that's I hope that answers your question. Kind of
no,
segued off a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I kind of came to heart in that kind of hair metal time of the 80s, the California kind of
yeah,
rock thing, you know. So
yeah.
obviously Alone, I absolutely love and adore Alone. It's probably
Mm,
certainly my my top 20 rock, rock songs ever. What About Love? All I Want to
hmm.
Do Is Make Love to, Um Interestingly, I mean, and I will ask you, do you have a favorite track on the album? For me, "Crazy on You" was the only song that I knew for sure on that album.
Hmm.
But what
Yep.
was really interesting for me, and I do like that, I think it's a really good track. But as I said to you before, I'd never listened to the full album in
Yep.
track order, and I
Yep.
did that. I did that today, knowing we were going to talk about it. And I'm just going to give that a listen, because your list was quite compact. I'm going to give that a listen.
Hmm.
It's really what I really enjoyed about it was listening to the vocals, and you can kind of see the evolution of the vocals from there to when you get to like Alone and What About Love, and how the vocals changed,
Hmm.
the purity and the kind of ethereal essence of the vocals on this album. Where I
Yeah.
was like, for a debut album, that is next level. That is something else. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said,
Agreed.
Def Leppard are my favorite band. High and Dry is a good album. On Through the Night
Hmm.
is a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah, is an amazing album. Theory for me blew it out of the water.
That was
Was
it.
just
Yeah.
next level. There's
Yep.
an evolution there, but here that's like in the later stuff you can see there's a little bit more commerciality to it, whereas this stuff is just all about the music.
Totally. Yeah. I
Yeah,
couldn't have said that better myself. Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
I agree 100%.
And it's I've said before on episodes, I am very much about the lyrics.
Hmm.
Lyrics are really important to me, and they say there's some psychological papers that some doctors written somewhere that says you get to a certain age in your life, and you stop seeking out new music, and it's not that new music, and that's why we can't my age you kind of say, oh, new music's kind of rubbish, and all that kind of stuff. But it's not that you psychologically you stop looking for new stuff. But
Hmm.
one thing that I do say about new music that I really dislike about a lot of modern music is you can't hear the lyrics. You can't the it's that thing, isn't it? When you listen to this is before autotune existed, and you can
Yeah.
hear every single word that comes out of a mouth, and
Hmm.
it's enunciated correctly. It's just bliss. And I'm like I say, I'm probably nowhere near as big a Heart fan as you are, but that's how it made me feel. That's like
Yeah.
wow, yeah. That was like, yeah, I could certainly go back and listen again, no problem. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. Totally understood why, for you that was is a big part of your music journey. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, do you have a favorite song on the album?
That's tough. That's really tough. Because I Dreamboat Annie is was the song that just got me to where I needed to be, which was here in Vancouver. Um, but I really, really love Me Like Music, and I'll Be Your Song. I love that song. I was actually singing that to my daughter when I was pregnant, because at nighttime I would sing something, and that would be one of my picks on the rotation. I just love it. The softness about it. It's such a romantic and relaxing song, and it's pure. It's kind of like what you just said. There's something so pure about it, and they were all so young. They were in love. They were in Vancouver. Well, Anne was with Michael at the time, right? He was managing the band, and um, Nancy was with Roger. So it was all just a big love group sort of deal. So it's that just kind of brings me to like oh, this was just such a loving time. Like what a time to be alive, sort of thing, you know?
I love that you sang that to your daughter. I love that,
Yeah.
and this shows how different we are as people. Because I get told off for singing "Enter Sandman" to my grandkids at night. Obviously, obviously in the style of a lullaby, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but my
Goodness.
kids and my wife are saying to me, "Stop singing that song.
Oh my gosh.
Got to start them young.
That means just sing it louder. Yeah.
Got to start them young."
You do. That's just the way.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, fantastic first choice. Obviously, full album. First time I've had a full album. Um, but yeah, but what an album to be fair. So yeah, well done for that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I
Um,
love it.
and your second choice, just a couple of years later, this one, but
Yeah.
a total kind of opposite end of the spectrum. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bright Eyes by Art Garfunkel.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about that song? A very beautiful song.
It is. It is. Um, when I had even looked up the lyrics, it was just sort of like, oh, this is beautifully sad. But that song, honestly, it's kind of an interesting take, I suppose. Um, when I was pregnant, my husband and I had put together a playlist to play while I was giving birth. And it was all just folk songs. My husband loves folk. He grew up on that. So Jim Croce, Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell, Simon and Garfunkel, just all of those songs, a little bit of Heart, obviously. Um, but that song came on one day, and I said, I have to add this in there. So, long and short of it, I didn't end up delivering my daughter. Unfortunately, we had major failed inductions despite being in labor, so I ended up having a c-section, so we couldn't play the music that we had put together. So it wasn't until the wee hours of the morning, where I was feeding her and it was quiet in the hospital, that song came on, after I had nursed her, and I was just looking at her and just taking it all in, just the whole the miracle that just came to be. And I remember sitting there in the hospital bed just sobbing because it all just came over me. I just thought, I'm a mom now. My life has changed completely. This beautiful little human is here who I never thought would be here. So it was all just such a magical and like heartfelt moment for me. So when that song comes on, all I think about is it being 2 in the morning and just taking it all in. Yeah, is very
Wow.
big for me.
That's quite emotional. I am kind of tearing up a little bit here.
Oh,
That's for two reasons. I mean, that is a really beautiful story. Um, um, and again, this is exactly the kind of thing, the exact kind of stories that I'll love to hear, and why I do this, why I talk to people about music, and what it means to them. But also that song, I I I remember that when it came out in 1978, I went to the cinema to
yeah.
see the movie. I mean, I was only 5, but I don't mind telling you, I remember very vividly. I cried at that movie. I don't know
Oh,
if
I
you know. I
believe
don't
it.
know if you know the story, but there's a lot of death in that movie for a
Yeah,
kids movie.
I've heard.
If you haven't seen it, I don't know whether I would recommend you watch it or not. Yeah, yeah. On balance, I would say probably yes.
Yeah,
But watch it now while your little one's 8 months old. Don't let her see it till she's
yeah,
2 months old. Yeah, because
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
quite
gosh.
traumatic really at 5 thinking about it. Yeah, it was. But again, obviously, Art Garfunkel, obviously half of a very famous duo,
Yes.
who done some amazing work prior to that.
Mm,
Interesting to hear about your husband and his love of folk music, and you mentioned Simon and Garfunkel in there.
yeah.
Maybe we'll twist his arm and get him on next
Ooh,
for a chat.
yeah,
Um, that
perhaps.
that way, yeah, well, why not? That will be quite good.
I could put
Um,
a plug in his ear for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mentioned Gordon Lightfoot again, another name I'm very familiar with. Um, but yeah, that song, yeah, I remember having it on 7-inch vinyl at the time. And it was just a sad, emotional song, but it's
Hmm.
good that despite what it's about,
Yeah,
how you've linked it to like a really happy time. I know it's and quite a big moment in your life. I mean, as a parent,
yeah,
I can totally fully, probably not, because obviously you carry the baby for 9 months and all that kind of stuff. But even as a dad, that realization that 1 minute
wait,
you're living your life,
yep.
and then I'm going to say that a split second, it's more like a couple of hours, but your life's completely different, and you are responsible for this human being, and
Yeah,
you've got to keep them alive, and you've got to make sure that they stay safe and well, and
yeah, yeah. It's
it's
impactful for both. It certainly is.
it's
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 life
an
changing.
absolutely. So yeah, not surprising really that there's a song there that kind of just punctuates that point in your life. Um, so
Yeah.
fantastic,
It's,
yeah, fantastic. Um, Amazing choices with really good backstories to go with them. So thank you for that. So they'll go on your playlist, and we'll pop the link in the episode
amazing.
notes for
Yep.
people to listen to. And I would certainly recommend to anybody who hasn't heard Dreamboat Annie, the album, to just give it a listen in full, because it really is worth a listen.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
I
so let's
second
talk
that.
let's talk about your small community um,
Sure.
on TikTok. What
Yeah.
I mean, you were building about 80,000 followers. I mean, that's getting. I mean, well, all right, we'll say 70.7 if we want to split hairs, but you're almost there, aren't you? And
Hold on.
growing every day, and the content that you put out is really good quality. Where does the
You.
inspiration for all that come from?
Um, honestly, it's just I if I'm being super duper honest here, I don't have a community that like an in-person community that I can just sit and, just hang out with, talk music and, bounce ideas off each other, that sort of thing. And upon coming onto TikTok, um, and initially sharing my voice, like singing stuff that I've written or just covers, I thought, I wonder if I just made playlists and people would like them. Maybe we could just talk about it. And that's kind of where that idea came from. Any musical questions that stir up discussion, I I'm just super passionate about because I don't have that space physically in front of me, but in the online space I do. And I value that so much. I think it's important to have connections with people who love the same things that you do. I think it's just very important just for your whole self is to have connection. We're humans. We need to have connection. And music, what a way to have a connection with people. I mean, we're talking music right now. It's a really beautiful thing, and it's interesting how there's so many people in the world you can have so much in common with and you don't even know it until you put it out there. And before you know it, you're having all these conversations in the comments or even in personal messages. For me, really, it's just what the drive is just to keep that community going, to keep it growing, and to hear people's thoughts, to hear their stories. And I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a little bit of negative stuff that comes back, but that's with just everything. And when you put your stuff out there, when you're vulnerable like that, you're essentially painting a target on your back. So, gotta be ready for that, but don't take it personally. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind telling you when I came up with the concept for this podcast, I stuttered a few times. I doubted the idea and the concept. I mean,
Mm,
I won't bore you with the details of why I came up with the idea and the concept right now. But I spoke to a few people, and a few people just said, "Look, just do it." But
hmm.
as you do when you put content out in the world, you are. I mean, he is a news flash. I wrote a book of poetry about 10 years ago, which I self-published, but I published under a different name. So it is out there, and I'm not going to discuss it, but it is out there.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and that's because I just didn't have the confidence to put my name to it, and still kind of don't because I'm kind of a little bit fearful of the poetry is a very personal thing, and it's like music, isn't it? Some people love it, some people hate it. Um, and it'll be the same for the podcast. Some people really get it, really get the idea, the concept. Some people listen once, don't come back, and that's, I'd rather be a shot, somebody's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea, as we
Yeah.
say in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Um,
That one for sure. Yeah.
if you're not making, if you're not getting negative feedback, you're not making enemies, you're not making anything. Is kind of the way to view it.
Yeah.
But I look
Absolutely.
at your content and I, I'm just a genuinely because obviously I'm into 42 days into my 365-day challenge on
Yeah.
across all the I run it across Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, where I just put my themes up I created a list of 365 themes. I pick a theme a day, put it up there, and just say to people, "Tell me your favorite song related to
Yeah.
this one."
Yeah.
Today's is flowers and horticulture.
Ooh.
Was today's theme. Obviously, I went with lavender from Marillion by Marillion, um,
Okay.
and that's kind of driving that. But again, you get that. Even I get negative feedback. I want you put something on about what's your favorite U2 song, and then you get all the U2 hate piling on, or your favorite Oasis track, and you get all the Oasis kind of piles on, and
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
the haters. So I kind of just I'm thick skinned, and I'm getting on in years now. I'm the wrong side of 50, so I
Well,
kind of I kind of just take it.
yeah, you know what? It's a thing to have. It's important to have thick skin. It's funny how in that social space we all want to be seen and we want to be heard. Whatever like respective thing that we're doing, we want to be seen and we want to be heard and we want to connect. And it's inevitable that there's going to be somebody going in there just going, "Hey, like I don't like what you're doing," or "Oh, this is stupid," or "Oh, you didn't put Slayer in this place." Like it's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. So you can't please everybody, right? It's
It
just
used
how it goes.
it used to upset me until somebody explained to me that
Mm.
all engagement drives engagement. And there's a couple of people that I watch on various social media platforms, and they deliberately rage bait just to get reaction,
Uh-huh.
because all reactions are good reactions, because it
Yeah.
drives the algorithm. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's absolutely genius. And I couldn't do it.
Oh,
I won't go looking for a
nope.
row for the sake of it. I mean,
No.
I may make the odd mistake when, if I give if I say that a song was on a certain album released in whatever year. I've had the odd comment and have said it wasn't 2006, it was
Oh, yeah.
2001, and that's
Yeah.
that's a genuine mistake. I'm
Yeah.
not. I haven't got this encyclopedic knowledge of music. I know what I know, and I know quite a bit, but it's not encyclopedic.
Yeah.
I get it wrong,
I
you know.
I'm with you there. I feel very much the same way. I certainly don't want to ever make it seem like, I know everything front to back
But
and
but
side to side, you know.
some
Because
people
I don't.
some people will rage bait for content, but that's definitely not where I am.
No, 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 I couldn't
Uh,
do it either. Nope.
but the thing I do love about your content is I do love listening to your playlists. And as I've said, as I said to you earlier, we've got very similar taste.
Hmm.
But occasionally I'll see stuff that pops up and think, oh, I don't know that song. And it's either because it's from a bit further back, or because
Hmm.
it was kind of North America and not
Yeah.
over here in the UK or Europe, and it kind of passed me by. Um, which happens, and kind of I'll go and check that out. But again, because our taste is similar, it's like I kind of know I'm probably already there when if I go and listen to it. It's going to be in my in my wheelhouse sort of thing. I'm kind of going to enjoy it anyway, and it's always good. People say about old music, it's new to somebody. So keep
It
sharing it.
is.
Keep
It's
it's
so
always new to
true.
somebody else. So keep sharing,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love that. And it brings, if you're bringing old music to new audiences,
Hmm.
there is nothing wrong in that at all.
Oh, I'm glad you like them. That brings me a lot of joy to do that, honestly. It's just it's fun. It's fun for me. It allows me to be creative and maybe I'll be able to do a score sometime, That would be cool.
Do you? I mean, what's so? Is there any other big plans coming for Ash on social media? Anything that you kind of dreaming up in the background for content, or that you're happy to talk about?
You know what? I would really love to get back into a studio and start recording again. I think that would probably be the biggest thing, and I would love to start putting more vocal stuff out there. I've been itching to do that for a while now, but like I said earlier, duty calls, full-time mom. So I do what I can right now, keeping my platform alive and just also keeping my heart fulfilled too, because it does bring me a lot of joy just talking about um like whatever music discussion topics I have to share or whatever playlists I have for that particular day. It really does bring me a lot of joy. So I'm hoping to put more musical things out there, vocals, because that's a muscle I need to exercise. So I may need some time to do it, but I would love to get back into that again.
I will watch with bated breath
Oh.
on your socials to start to see those little kind of viral 30 seconds of you banging a tune out, even if it's just into your phone. You think
Oh,
that's
well,
that's.
thank you. That is appreciated.
Um, I said earlier about you don't seek out new music and things. It's interesting that this journey for me. In fact, the last episode I put out. was with a band. Was a band. The lead singer and a guitarist from a band, a
Hmm.
London-based band called IC Ones. And I kind of fanboyed a little bit because I listened to the first album, their first album before I had them on, and I'd say they are my new favorite band. They are absolutely amazing.
Oh,
Um,
that's
and so
wonderful.
so I'm actually enjoying the fact that new music is coming to me. Again, I'm finding new old music, but I'm finding new stuff as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
wonderful.
yeah, it
There's
really
some,
is.
I think there's, I guess I don't have anything against new music. I mean, I don't listen to it, but I also don't seek it out. Um, because I mean, where do you look? I feel like the genres have expanded even more. Like what was classified as metal back then is like, oh, that's just like rock now or whatever. It's all just changing. So it's I find it interesting and sometimes a tad difficult unless you spend countless hours just digging and digging and digging into modern bands nowadays. Um,
Yeah,
but I know that there's good ones just hiding somewhere.
yeah. This categorization of bands really kind of started to mess with me a little bit because obviously, Def Leppard, White Snake, that are they rock? Are they metal? Because it depends who you ask. But
Yeah.
the one that got me, and I used to be kind of a closet fan, but I'm quite open about it now. I've always been a huge Duran Duran fan,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
and apparently, Duran Duran are a rock band. And then I think Earth was not a rock song. Rio was not a rock song. Hungry
No.
Like the Wolf is not a rock song. You know,
No.
it's
No.
not. The new stuff they're doing with Nile Rodgers is not rock. They are a guitar band. They play their instruments and they
Yeah.
sing, but they're categorized as rock, and I'm like,
I wouldn't have thought they would have been
I'm not having that. I
wrong.
mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't really matter. I enjoy Duran Duran. I've got tickets
Love
to
them
see them later in the
anyways.
year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and see them later in the year live.
That's
So
exciting.
really excited. Well, I've got to see Def Leppard at the end of this month. I'm really excited for that. So
Oh, amazing.
um, yeah, that'll be
Oh,
really
I love
cool.
that.
Yeah, so I've never missed the UK Def Leppard UK tour since 1988.
No way.
I've seen them every time they've toured in the UK since '88. Live in the Round, In Your Face, Hysteria Tour '88
That's
that was
incredible.
actually my first gig as well.
Oh my gosh. I still haven't seen them yet. So I, I gotta, oh my gosh.
Shame on you. I still
I,
have. I've still got a Euphoria '99 American football jersey that I bought at the gig
mm-hmm.
um, in '99. I've still got it, and it's like in fact, I don't think I've worn it. Might have tried it on, but
Wow.
never worn it. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
might fish it out for this gig.
Big fan. Big fan. I think you should. I think you
Absolutely,
should.
absolutely. Okay, Ash, it's been absolutely amazing talking to you.
Likewise. Likewise. Thank you for being
Thank you
so
for
accommodating.
it. Hey, listen, it's been wonderful to have you. Yeah, obviously we jiggled around with dates and things, but we got here, and obviously there's a couple of thousand miles and 8 hours between us.
Yeah.
But
Seriously.
we got there in the end. And I'll extend this offer to you. I'll be happy to have you back anytime you like. You want to come
Oh, I
back
would
and
love
talk to me
that.
again? That'll be amazing. And if your husband wants to come and chat folk music or any kind of music,
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
interesting to hear his take on things like the birth of your daughter and things and what's stuck with him from that as well. Be
Oh,
good to
yeah,
hear
he'll
that
have lots to
perspective,
say.
among other things, and about
Absolutely.
meeting you in Vancouver and things and all that. So that would be really cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a big love story, so
Hey, I'm always up for that. Always up for a good story.
awesome.
Ash, you've been amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem.